I think a lot of us have been out here for multiple years. Kind of gotten used to it. The summers out here are brutal and the winters are unforgiving. You got a hose? No.
About 40 miles north of Los Angeles is the city of Lancaster. And just beyond that is where Jeff Vangari has lived for the last 9 years.
It sucks. You know, it's definitely fun and games. Especially being all the way out here out of town. You know, it's hard to get anywhere to get food or drink. All right, let's go out that way.
Vangari doesn't have a car or running water, which means whenever he can get a ride into town, he takes it.
I go usually probably once or twice a week and fill up one or two of those 55-gallon drums. Because we use it for everything, you know, bathrooms, cleaning up, dishes, cooking, everything. I think the hardest part about living out here is trying to stay out of your own head. It's not like I woke up one day and said, hey, I want to go live in the desert and make life 1,000 times more difficult for myself. Right. Circumstances led up to it, and I haven't quite figured out the circumstances that'll get me out of it yet, I guess. Okay. Good enough. Yep.
Vangari is homeless, and out here, he's not alone. So driving around this part of the desert, you see encampments in pretty much every direction. Some of them are larger groupings of trailers, and others are individuals out on their own with nobody around. Hundreds of people without homes live in this part of the Mojave Desert, unincorporated land just beyond Avenue G, one of the city limits of Lancaster. Were you ever within the city limits?
Yeah.
And why did you move out here?
Pretty much told by law enforcement that the only way not to be messed with, i.e. our camps ransacked or bulldozed or even burnt down, it would be to move north of G, which G is that street right there. Law enforcement just treated us like dirt, you know, and they just wanted us out of their city.
So you feel like you were really pushed out of the city?
Not feel like we were. More
than half of all unsheltered people in the U.S. live in California. In LA County, authorities have prioritized crackdowns on encampments and sweeping homeless people off the streets and out of sight. But since they've had little to no success in addressing the root of the problem, encampments just pop up somewhere else. Lancaster is an especially tough place to be unhoused. Homeless people make up 1% of the population, but receive 25% of the city's citations. The mayor has called homeless people criminals and thugs, and even suggested residents arm themselves in defense. Who is responsible for what's happening out here?
The city of Lancaster is not friendly towards people who are unhoused. They don't treat this as a humanitarian crisis. They don't treat it as a housing crisis. They treat unhoused people as if they are criminals when their only crime is not having enough income to afford, say, a $2,000 a month, one-bedroom apartment.
بیشتر بدانیم